To be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be in a state of rage almost all of the time and in one's work. James Baldwin. I've been a member of the adult workforce for over 20 years in professions ranging from retail to educational consulting. I've managed and worked with teams as few as 2 souls to some over 100. And if you count the 15 years of working in schools and colleges, the demographic diversity is almost impossible to trace. I've worked across train tracks, streets, race, and class lines, and noticed a few constants. And as my father would say, I've come across the following conclusions honestly. The difference between students, workers, people standing stiff-spined with confidence and those trying to balance on fragile limbs of disappearing self-esteem is nourishment. But this is not a simple metaphor. The manager is not to a gardener as the employee is to a plant. And while we do exist in an ecosystem of hierarchy, the incline towards equity should not be so steep. And if you want an example of what types of misfortunes breed in a world where people are not included in the decisions that have a direct effect on their lives, just look around. That reality is now. I once asked a disillusioned student if they could describe what it was that changed the moment they ceased enjoying school. She said, and I poetically paraphrase, "We used to be taught for the love of learning. Knowledge was a treasure, the value of which never needed to be questioned or qualified. There was no doubt your teachers wanted to be there. Their work seemed effortless, and if there were standardized benchmarks, we never felt the pressure. Now," she says, "it feels like failure is a guillotine dangling precariously above our neck, threatening us with a crappy life and a job we hate if we don't do our homework or score high on a test." This sentiment is carried into the workplace. Whether I was working in the nonprofit world or selling discount shoes, my greatest obstacle as a leader of people was disillusionment. Cynicism can grow an impenetrable wall of poisonous vines around the heart and will of the soul, which has never been given the language, space, or permission to express their voice. And who can blame them or any of us? To be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be in a state of rage almost all of the time and in one's work. This observation is no longer just for Black people, if it ever was. This is the harvest. A crop nourished by white supremacy and blind capitalism possesses within the fibers of its fruit a sickness so potent that it is spread to almost every aspect of our society. What is the cure for an illness so ubiquitous that it has coaxed us into confusing economic growth for social progress? A madness so pervasive that has extracted every common kindness taught to us as children and blurred our moral vision to the point where we can only see those that work with us as a means to an end. Well, it ain't easy, and surely not painless, but there is medicine for this malady. To heal, we must value listening to a person more than trying to fix them. Be prepared to tear off the vines around your heart and soul before reaching for anybody else's. Most importantly, embrace the practice with grace and humility. And it is a practice. Learning how to human better is a lifelong endeavor, and this is just day one of a new life nourished by new perspectives.